So we talked about this a couple weeks ago, that Dark Horse is going to tackle the origin of the Jedi.
Awesome story idea. This is something that's really, really cool. You've seen these Jedi, you've seen the Star Wars universe, and it takes place in the future, right, and all this stuff, but it's so far into the future from where the origins of the Jedi are that you really don't even, like, care at first. You just know that these Jedi are cool, but...
Yeah, and I don't even think anybody's ever thought about, well, where'd the Jedi come
from?
They're always there.
They've just been there. Someone figured out how to use the Force, and hey, F it, let's just go with it. And oh, I can use the Force too. Hey, you can too. Oh, awesome.
So I love this idea, and as we often do in the Nerd Cave, we got pumped about Star Wars and wanted to come on screen and talk about it.
Yeah.
Specifically, one of the things that bothered us.
Yes.
So obviously, we had the prequels. We can't pretend they didn't exist. They do.
They do. Clone Wars, unfortunately, is a movie that came out. Attack of the Clones. Sorry, not Clone Wars, but yes.
But that's one of the things that when we talked about, the prequels didn't necessarily bother me. I liked how they had new movies, and we got to relive our youth, and it was exciting.
F Obi-Wan's mullet. I don't believe Obi-Wan would have ever had a mullet. I'm sorry. That was stupid. Ewan McGregor, you're better than that.
Yeah, and you can't picture Alec Guinness with it.
Right.
Anyway.
Alec Guinness, he's too, like, prestigious to have a mullet.
But one of my problems was, when we got to Attack of the Clones, we found out all the clones are just
normal dudes.
Jango Fett, which is another problem, but they're just soldiers.
And that makes Boba Fett that less cool, because all it is Jango Fett just slowly aging, like aging normally instead of the accelerators.
And that's what we talked about, is that we have these cool extended universe things that existed after the original trilogy, such as Timothy Zahn.
Timothy Zahn is, if you guys don't know, if you guys haven't read any expanded universe books, this guy's pretty much in charge of the expanded universe. This guy's, he of course has to like, you know, go to Lucas and get approved, all that stuff. But George really isn't doing any of the story. He's just signing the checks and signing the papers.
And back
Timothy Zahn he constructed a huge universe.
And back when there was a rumor that there was going to be 9 total movies, it was this trilogy that was thought of as, oh, this will be the next one. And it's the Grand Admiral Thrawn story, and it's phenomenal. I highly recommend it. But in it, there is a clone by the name of Horus Sabath, who's a Jedi.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, cool, so they're cloned Jedis.
Yeah. No.
No. And then we also have Dark Horse, who, this is why I'm still cool. I think they can do it. Dark Horse did the Dark Empire comic book series, which brought back the Emperor as a clone. Oh, cool, we got a clone Sith.
Did you ever read the story where Luke Skywalker had a clone? I think it was like Luke had a clone, and it was actually a dark side clone.
Yes, clone from his hand.
Yeah,
that was cut off.
Someone found his hand. Like they went into the depths of the Bespin like gases and found his hand and cloned him, and it made him like a horrible Sith.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's a cool like tidbit, because who's gonna even think, oh, I could maybe find that hand? It's like these guys are intense.
Love it. Then we get Attack of the Clones, and it's only these Jango Fett soldiers, which really ticked me off.
Like, there's some awesome things about Attack of the Clones. Like Mace Windu, the whole like big Jedi battle on Genosha, so awesome. That huge battle. I mean, the series has, the one thing it has over the original trilogy is the special effects and the crazy action sequences.
By far.
Beyond that,
and that's one of the things
substance in the other series makes it that much
And that's
better.
one of the things we get to see, which there was no way we could have seen in the original trilogy, is multiple Jedi and Sith fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's phenomenal. You really can't beat that at times.
True.
Like, I enjoyed that.
I really like in episode 4, when you see the Jedi battles, it's a very traditional, very slow moving, because these are 2 dudes that are very, very skilled at what they're doing. They're also old, but they're very, very skilled at what they're doing. We've seen with Yoda battling. I mean, he's like 900 years old and he's still flipping and doing stuff like that. He can. It's available to him because of the Force, because of midichlorians, blah, 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 whatever. But he can still do it. And then slowly but surely, you see in the second one, Luke fighting his dad is a lot better. And then the third one, it's a lot more intense, but it's not as fine-tuned. It's not as smooth as it is in the prequels, which in the
We've
prequels...
been doing this every day of our lives, training to do this.
Yes, training to do it. Yeah, Luke training whenever he can. It's not really training all the time. That's why I love the other trilogy. They have awesome Jedi battles. The General Grievous fight with him and Obi-Wan, so awesome.
Well, and that's another thing we talked about. Everybody knows there was a battle between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker.
Yes.
We all know lava was involved. And we all know that's why Darth Vader
is Darth Vader
in the suit.
Yes.
It's never been told, never been seen until Revenge of the Sith.
Until Revenge of the Sith, which was awesome. That was probably the best part of the entire first trilogy, like or the prequel trilogy. Best part of it, just because it was all that hype, all that buildup. I mean, Padme going, Annie, no, like that horrible acting by the great Natalie Portman. Like, girl, what were you thinking? But
who would have thought we would see
that awesome
Anakin
battle?
Skywalker like crawling up on the banks of
yelling
lava
at him,
on fire, and just
yelling and
still
screaming
the rage,
in pain.
like,
He's in pain and he's in like anger, and it's just everything all at once. And it's so emotional, it's so powerful.
And
that
even
was
the Emperor showing up right after.
Yeah.
Sorry, Senator Palpatine showing up right after and being like, "Oh my God, this is this is my hope." And now we got to get him back and fix him up.
Yeah, it was cool how it ended. It's cool how it wrapped up. I really enjoyed that. But we talked about this earlier. I read the book before it came out. I read the book maybe like a week before it came out because the book came out for whatever reason like a month before. That book was so good. It was like a little trade paperback, like a little paperback book that was tiny and thin, but it was so more like there was more depth to the book than there was a movie, which is normally the case, obviously. But
one of the key things we talked about is, and they alluded this in the first one, why aren't the Jedi when they die disappearing? Like we'd see Obi-Wan and Yoda. Well, they address that in the book of Revenge of the Sith, in that Qui-Gon Jinn has been able to tap into that side of the Force, which has never been discovered before.
Because he's
in
crazy
communication
cool
with Yoda.
I love that he's like the most hippie, like liberal Jedi ever, and then like Obi-Wan's like the most like conservative Jedi like ever. Like it's just I like that like play between them because he totally learned a lot, and he was this like crazy conservative, like this is the way the Force is supposed to be used, this is what the Force is, and then Qui-Gon was like, really the Force is whatever we make of it. It's unlimited possibility, it's unlimited potential. And I want to see what Dark Horse does with these early Jedi, with these early Force sensitive people, and how they kind of like come up with the rules, come up with the training, come up with lightsabers. Like the lightsabers, if you guys don't know, a lightsaber, you know how they say it's their life, it's their sole form of protection. They actually have to make it themselves. There's like this whole planet where all the crystals are. It's part of the training. It's like one of the last things you do. You put it together with the Force. If you ever watch the original Clone Wars miniseries by the guy that did Powerpuff Girls, I cannot say his name, so I'm not even going to try. But it's really awesome. And they have a cool little part where it's a Jedi and her apprentice putting together her thing, and then Yoda saves them, and it's awesome.
Which is another cool thing that we've seen in the extended universe. They've talked about it a lot, but we never saw it on screen, and there was a great way to do it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I highly recommend, again, people usually diss the prequels, but if you go read the extended universe books, Shatterpoint with focused on Mace Windu is one of the best books out there.
Mace Windu's so cool.
Mace Windu's a badass, and we really don't have much about him because he did die, but this book, Shatterpoint, fantastic.
Little known fact, he straddles the light and the dark. He taps into the dark energy. He's a Jedi straight up, but he channels into that when he just uses his rage. That's what fuels him. That's what makes him one of the best Jedi fighters ever.
Fighting style, exactly.
Yeah, it's his own unique fighting style. There's really so much info on Jedi fighting styles. It's not even funny. And Mace Windu like created his own. He's like Chuck Norris of Jedi, straight up.
Or maybe somebody cool.
Or Samuel L. Jackson of Jedi.
There you go.
Know,
exactly.
Yeah,
so I highly recommend you check out a ton of the extended universe. Another one, sorry, we forgot to mention with the Dark Empire. Boba Fett did not die in the Sarlacc pit. I'm sure everybody knows that now, but he got out. And one of the best scenes ever in a comic panel. I love it. Han Solo goes back to home planet, checking out the house where he was. Hasn't been there forever. Robot comes in. Mr. Fett to see you. Who? And Boba Fett's right there. Awesome. Let you know Boba Fett did not die. Love it. Love it.
Yeah. Although Boba Fett is overrated, but whatever. Whatever.
Now he's with Jango Fett. So obviously, we love Star Wars. We love to talk about Star Wars. Please let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you have any topics you want to talk about Star Wars, please let us know and we will talk.